and welcome to the Beef Edge, the Teagasc Beef Podcast, for all your latest news, information and advice for Irish beef farmers. I'm Catherine Egan, and as part of the Beef Masterclass series, with only 20% of beef farmers using AI, I'm joined by suckler and sheep farmer Martin Shaughnessy from County Mayo to discuss his beef system and how he uses AI on his farm. I first asked Martin, what is your farming system?
Well, I'm situated here I'm in Roundford, Hollywood, County Mayo, between Ballarobe and Clamars. I have a suckling and sheep enterprise here. I keep about 16 to 18 suckler cows, plus I keep my replacement heifers as well. I have about 120 ewes and also keep my replacement ewe lambs as well. I suppose that the ewes side of it, I just synchronise all my sheep. I'd have 60 ewes lambing in February and 60 ewes lambing in March. I suppose, why do I synchronise? I suppose I'm working as well in a Revo Marts. I work 2 or 3 days a week, and it can be a few more days towards the back end when it gets very busy. I suppose all my cows are nearly all 3/4 bred Limousin cows. There'll be a sort of half blue, half Limousin cows as well here as well. There'll be a fair bit of AI breeding in my cows through the years as well. As you say, I'm using all AI here. Nearly all Belgian Blue bulls on my cows. Also, I suppose on the heifers, I'd be using a Limousin bull on them. I suppose my target market, naturally I'm using a Belgian Blue bull AI. I suppose it's for the export market. A lot of my heifer calves would be sold to finishers and also maybe the export market and also to people for breeding as well. I suppose my land type here, I said I have 34 acres of land. I have 10 acres rented. In the home place here, I suppose the land is a fairly good land. It's limestone land. I suppose you'd look out this morning and you say it's not too dry with all the bad weather being having, but it probably is known as dry land enough in this area.
It's a very niche system, Martin, that you're operating. When do you calve from?
I calve down, I suppose. I'd like to be calving down from the 1st of January, maybe the last few days of December. I suppose when I'm using all AI, I suppose it makes things a bit easier to know when my cows are calving. From the 1st of January, I suppose up to the 1st of April. I think this year they were all calved by Paddy's Day. It probably works well with the synchronizing of the ewes as well, that I know exactly when cows are going calf and then I could fit in my sheep in between as well, and maybe having more space in the sheds and things like that.
Martin, you have a very compact calving pattern. What difference does that make for you, particularly when you're working off farm?
Yeah, I suppose the compact calving, it has its probably advantages and disadvantages. I suppose, look at the advantages. I suppose, look at when they are calving, that when you get them after a week old or whatever, you have to put them into creeps and things like that they are all of the one age. I suppose I wouldn't like them any tighter than they are. You'd like to have them sort of spread. I think the spread out over the 10 weeks or 12 weeks helps you need a lot of space. But it definitely, I suppose when you're matching up the calves as well, going out again to the grass and things like that, they're all the same size within reason. And I suppose and the calving creeps as well, that makes it easier and you have probably less issues with scours and pneumonias when you have batches even enough together,
You're 100% AI, Martin. What benefit has that for you?
I suppose, I've been using AI here for the last, 20 years at least. And I suppose the main thing I can match, like going down the Belgian Blue route, I suppose using a Belgian Blue bull probably was a non-runner for me as well. I suppose that in the west of Ireland, a lot of small suckler farmers, and I suppose 16 to 18 suckler cows. I didn't think it was feasible maybe to have a bull. And I suppose, not all my cows are suited to the Belgian Blue bull either, so I'd be using Limousin on them as well. So it wouldn't be beneficial to have 2 bulls going. So I suppose that's where I came in with the AI, and I could select the bull matched to the cow. And I suppose it takes years of experience to know to suit the cow,
And for the blue sires that you're selecting, what are you looking for when you're looking at the AI sires when you're selecting them?
Yeah, I suppose the AI sires, I suppose, I wouldn't be a mad believer of, going down the route of too hard a calving. I suppose look at around 12% calving difficulty. I suppose, the reliability as well should be fairly high. Probably under 60, I'd be a bit, I'd like to get them up and around 80%, or maybe know what the sires are from originally, that you might have background on the sires that were bred from themselves. I suppose on the heifer side of it, I suppose, I'd be given a lot of limousines. So I suppose I'd be selecting them. I'm probably on easy calving for the first time and things like that.
In relation to replacement sires, Martin, what are you looking for?
The replacement side, I suppose, I'd be looking at, milk could be one of the things. I suppose milk is not a big issue on my farm here. I think I have enough milk, nice tidy udders on the cows and things like that, not too big of udders. I suppose, all I want to do is for their daughters to equal their mothers, or maybe try to improve it a small bit. If I wanted to improve it, maybe I'll be looking at a small bit on the maternal side of it. But I don't focus too much on the maternal a bit, but I'd like to keep the terminal side of it up as well, because if she does have a bull calf, that if you're selling a bull calf for export, you want them in fair good U grade shaped calf. And
from a heat detection point of view, how do you manage that?
Yeah, as I say, I'm using all AI here. So I used to be using tail paint and things like that years ago, and I suppose I got out and I'm using a teaser bull. At the moment, a teaser bull, he'll be working with the cows. I put a chin ball on him as well. Probably not when he'd be in the shed, but once he goes out with the cows, I'd be out onto the grass. He'd be putting a chin ball on him. I suppose at the moment they're just starting to, at the moment they're bulling at the moment now as well. I suppose the cameras in the shed as well helps to heat detection as well, that you're able to see cows coming on heat as well, more easier.
And how do you manage when the cows are out of grass during the grazing season, getting cows in?
Yeah, it's probably not as simple. I suppose I try to get a few cows bulled before and heifers before they go out as much as I can. There'll be a certain amount of cows that wouldn't be AI to that stage. I suppose, I have a paddock system in place for cows. I have a simple way of probably just a temporary fence, maybe bringing up cows, and when like a little roadway for cows, and it makes it very simple, to be honest. Once there's a roadway, just temporary fence set up along to bring up the cows. I have no big issue with it, but I suppose the cows are being used to being moved around in a paddock system. It makes it very easy to take away the cow and calf and bring her up for AI.
And you're operating a paddock system. How does that work on your farm?
Yeah, I suppose, I saw them as a firm believer of a paddock system and cows. I suppose I'm at a higher stocking rate, very high stocking rate with the amount of land I have here. I suppose I try to get the best out of the land I have. So I suppose by using a paddock system, definitely I'm growing more grass. It makes it easier to work out, what grass you have out of your cows. I suppose as well, as you say, for AI and things like that as well, it makes it a lot easier to control your cows. Your cows are a lot quieter being used around to move your cows. When I suppose everyone is in a system now that you're working on your own, and you have to be able to manage on your own. So I suppose the paddock system definitely comes in there as well. That the cows are definitely a lot quieter. And also, I suppose, if paddocks are, getting a bit strong and things like that in the summertime, you can always take out a paddock as well. So definitely it grows more grass, and I think the cows are a lot more content, and it makes it easier on the man itself.
And do you let the calves creep graze ahead of the cows with the paddock system?
Yeah, I suppose it's the last good few years I have been creeping calves ahead of cows. I don't use a creep feeder here. I haven't been using creep feeder here for the last 10 or 15 years. I suppose, why not? I think, I start creep gazing the calves. I suppose you often see young calves that start going under. I have mains fence here, and I suppose you often see calves start going under electric fences and things like that when they're very young. But when they get a bit older, you maybe have to rise the fence a small bit. I think maybe June or July, once the calves are, I say calves are born in January, 5 months old. But when I'm saying that the March calves and things like that, like they're a bit younger, but it makes the calves start going ahead of the cows. And I suppose you can graze out the paddocks a lot tighter then. The calves are going ahead of the cows as well. And maybe start a bit of meal then, maybe in July, July and August up until October, until I was September, October, until I was selling the weanlings. So I suppose, look, it's a great way of maybe utilising the grass as well. And it's only by the horse, one of them high pigtails, just to rise it up, horse pigtail, and just rise up the fence. But I suppose you want good power in the fence to make sure the cows don't get out as well, you know.
Yeah, and it seems to be working very effectively. And it has been a difficult spring. How do you manage turning out stock?
Yeah, look, I suppose, you know, we are in the west of Ireland here. It has been a big thing about cows that, you know, when you have heavy cows, you know, a lot of my cows will be 700 to 800 kilos for red limousine cows. I suppose as you say, I have 120 ewes here as well. I suppose they were all out of grass since the 1st of February, 16 of them, and the rest of them are gone out since the middle of March. But as you say, I have a system where the cows, the grazing ground for the cows would have been grazed from mid-December up until Christmas with the ewes. It probably would have got slurry and things like that now as well since, and urea. So there's a nice pick of grass there at the moment, but the weather conditions at the moment are atrocious. But I suppose the last few years, I have it in my head that no cows will go out onto grass until I have enough grass, first of all, and ground conditions suit. I suppose I am lucky in this part of the country here. I suppose that the ground is fairly dry compared to other parts of the West, you know. But I suppose I'd like to get them out as early as I can. I suppose what would I let out first? I'd probably, as you say, I'm AIing at the moment now, and I suppose I'd like to maybe the younger calves and maybe a few of the replacement heifers. The younger heifers will be going out first, the lighter stock, but there'll be only a few going out until I make sure that the ground conditions hold up. I don't believe in putting them out and have to bring them in again. The ewes are just about here to manage the ground at the moment and mind the cows.
Yeah, well, I suppose the ewes will have the start of your spring grazing plan started for you.
Exactly, yeah. The ewes, like, you know, I have been grazing since the 1st of February, and I suppose, look, I've got a lot of grazings in already, and I got out urea a bit early as well in February, you know, and it has been a good year for grass growth, believe it or not. Like, and a bit of manure that did go out, fertilizer. And, you know, just the ground conditions, I suppose, look, I'm probably one of the lucky ones, but I suppose there's many farmers around here that wouldn't have as good, maybe dry land as I have. And, you know, it could be 1st of May before we get cows out, you know.
And you mentioned you're selling the weanlings from October. What are the key targets you have for the weanlings over the season?
Yeah, so I suppose to get a good thrive on them. I think the creep grazing is definitely one thing that to get them a good thrive and get them a weight gain. It's a cheap weight gain without compromising maybe too much meal. I suppose it breaks the bond as well between the cow and the calf as well, maybe in the weaning stage as well. Look, I try to get up them weanings up to them bull weanings. They're up to around 400 kilos, 380 to 420 kilos. I suppose that'd be my target for them heavy bulls who were born in January. They'd be usually sold in March and in September, and the March calves then will be going into October. So the heifer weanlings, I suppose, the Belgian Blue thing, I suppose I have been doing it a good few years now, and there has been a sort of a market out there for blue heifers, for coloured heifers and things like that. So I suppose they're looking for these Roni heifers at the moment now. So I have, you know, coloured heifers and you know, there is a market out there. So I suppose so them heifer weanlings, I suppose, would be around. I wouldn't be putting them up to the same weights, but if you got them up to around 280 to 350 kilos, farmer market is there to buy them and export market.
That's great, Martin. And you're also involved with the catchment program. What does that involve?
Yeah, look, I suppose the catchment program, I suppose, it's the basis really to, I suppose, the ground, the grazing ground is here. I suppose it's like getting the foundation for a house. If your soil and you can't grow grass is not right, I suppose the catchment area is a 6 catchments in the whole country. And I suppose we're in the Craig Duff's catchment scheme here, and Kevin Madden is our advisor. And I suppose when it started off a good few years ago, but we usually take side samples every 3 or 4 years. And when that is done, Kevin makes up a fertilizer plan for the year ahead. And I suppose it tells you what in each field, and it tells you what P and K to put out in each field. And I suppose what it tells me is there's no point putting out a lot of K in a certain field if it doesn't need it, or the same with P. So I suppose it's all about putting the fertilizer where it's needed, and there's no point in wasting it. And I suppose, look at the catchment. I think it has brought on my land a lot. I wouldn't have done an awful lot of reseeding, a certain amount of reseeding, but it just shows when your P's and K's and your lime is right to what you can grow in grass. And I suppose it's all about water quality. The measure to see what P's and K's and nitrogen will be going into the waterways and things like that, because there's turlough in our area. But I suppose it just showed it would be an intensive area enough with dairy and suckling and sheep around here, that the water quality is as good as what's the best in the country. So that says a lot, to this area.
Most definitely, Martin, especially focusing on your improving soil fertility. Where do you see your future plans for your suckling system going forward?
Yeah, look at it. I suppose there's a lot of talk about suckler cows, like what I mean, what's going to happen. But I suppose my plan would be thinking, look, I try to hold what I have. I suppose I'm a firm believer. I wouldn't have an awful lot of cows, but I suppose I'm more quality than quantity. To what I have, I suppose if a cow is not performing, she will be let go. And I suppose I have a good culling rate here, that would be strict enough, for cows that is not doing the job. And if she's not doing the job for me, having a good blue calf every year, she'll have to go, or if she's late calf and she doesn't suit my system. So I suppose I'd probably stay around the same. I suppose the biggest thing that the factor that will put you out of suckler cows is the weather in the west of Ireland. And I suppose that's the only thing that at the moment I'd probably stick around the same and keep the ewes as well.
A great insight, Martin, into your suckling to weaning system. Thanks for joining me on the show.
Thanks very much, Catherine. Thank you.
That's all for this week's episode, and my thanks to Martin for joining me on the show. You can catch up on all other shows and interviews from the Beef Edge podcast on the Teagasc website at teagasc.ie, or you can listen on Apple and Google Podcasts as well as Spotify. Don't forget to rate, review and subscribe so you never miss a show. For all other updates from our beef programme, keep an eye on our Twitter and Facebook pages. Until next time, I'm Catherine Egan, and thanks for listening.